Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Martha Elizabeth. In case you don't know, I currently have a cup of white wine, and in my heart I'm really excited to share with you all in this video the 24 lessons that I've learned up until the age of 24. So for those of you that don't know, June 15 is my birthday, so we're about less than 2 weeks away. Today's currently June 4th. And I definitely feel 24. If anything, I feel maybe 25. The majority of my life, I've always felt a lot older, more mature, a lot wiser, and I've always been told that as well. So I am embracing as I get older. I'm really excited for it. I don't want to look older. I want to feel wiser, and I want to be able to share everything that I've been able to learn in life and teach it and educate others. So let me put this cup of white wine down as I take a last final sip. As I've mentioned today, I am really excited because I will be going over 24 lessons that I've personally learned up until the age of 24. So I want to start with the first one. And by the way, this is in no way the order. Like, I can't tell you when I was 1 year old, I learned about this, and then 2, I learned about this. It was really just a lot of what I've obviously learned throughout my 24 years, what's resonated, and whenever I go through any life experiences, I go back to those words and what I've held close to me. And they really mean a lot to me because they teach me a lot in the moment. Sometimes, as we all know, we can hear something, learn about something, and in the moment it might not resonate, and then we hear it again, and afterwards we're like, yes. And maybe it's because we've gone through something very profound, something very traumatic in between that time, and so the second time hearing it, it resonates a lot more. I'm hoping that these 24 lessons that I've been able to go through resonate somehow for you. So yeah, I would love to begin with number 1: ask questions and seek for advice. When I was in the 5th grade, I almost failed because I never asked questions. I never asked for help. I'm not really sure where this fear of looking stupid and looking dumb and feeling rejected and that feeling came from, because I've thought about it thoroughly in my entire childhood. I've never been treated poorly where I felt stupid, but I'm still figuring it out. But finally, the 4th marking period, my 5th grade teacher put me aside and he said, Martha, if you don't ask for help, you will fail the grade and you will not pass and go on to the 6th grade with your friends. That was enough for me to ask questions and for me to ask for the extra credits, for me to stay after school, for me to really work hard and pass the 5th grade. That was a core experience of mine that from then on, I always ask questions. And the gift about asking questions is that you will not assume. The power of questions and what I've learned throughout the years that has for relationships. Number 2, love is a conversation. And the moment that we stop sharing, we stop loving. I learned this in Landmark. I remember when I heard it, I was like, and then when I finished that program, by the way, Landmark is a personal and professional development program that really is deep inner work, 3 days, 12-hour days, no windows, 125 people about in a room. This was before COVID, of course. And it was intense. It was life-changing for sure. And I remember hearing this, and I remember after the program ended, I called my boyfriend and I said, babe, love is a conversation, and this resonates so hard because I really love talking and I really love sharing with you and I feel so loved. And then the second part was, well, the moment you stop sharing, you stop loving. And I don't want to stop sharing with you. I don't want to stop telling you things. I don't want to stop sharing my heart with you, and I don't want you to stop either. And this is how we'll get to know each other. And if we stop, and if we retract, and if we feel not authentic, if we're not demonstrating our authentic emotions, we will eventually stop loving each other and eventually will end. And I don't want that. Whenever I feel like so much of my ego and so much of my pride gets in the way, I try to remember that at all times. So going on to number 3, what you do or don't do has impact. This one is so simple, and it applies to every single human being on this earth. Everything that you do will impact someone in your life. Everything. It could be the kindest gesture to a stranger, and it will impact them. And they'll remember it. And they'll think, wow, like this stranger doesn't even know me. And they did something so kind for me, something kind for your loved one. And you did that. Or maybe it was something that you didn't do. You said you were going to do something and you didn't do it. And it really impacted the person that was affected by it on the other side, that was expecting that something to have been done. I say this to everyone. Everything that you do matters. Everything. And even when you think that people aren't watching, they actually are. And everything that you're doing in this lifetime, in this world, on your platform, with family, real life, friends, acquaintances, co-workers, you are impacting them. I'm really curious to hear how many of my friends and family members I've told this to, because I know I've said it to you more than once. Number 4, thoughts, positive or negative, shape our biology. So this was said by a doctor, to quote actually. He was talking a lot about, we are our own medicine. Like there's so much, within our body and our mindset that we can do to cure ourselves and make ourselves healthier. And I'm not gonna go into that, but I remember hearing him say thoughts, positive or negative, they shape our biology. And that one hit home. And I had that on my Instagram bio for the longest time because it is so true. And I don't know if this may resonate for some of you, but things like affirmations, like journaling, like the influence around you, they are so impactful in our day-to-day. But let's focus on ourselves for a second. How many times do we wake up and think about something really exciting, right? Really exciting that you have planned for the day. And you go about your day, you're super excited for it, and your body just feels so energized, like ready to go. And just a simple thought really impacts your body. And so imagine if you're going through a breakup, that breakup, those thoughts, you feel down, probably don't want to do things, probably you're not drinking enough water, not eating well, probably just laying in bed, not exercising, not doing XYZ. And so imagine going on your day-to-day with that negative thought. It's taking a toll on your body, and eventually it's shaping our biology. I don't want to promote toxic positivity, but at the same time, it's so important to think about something positive, a lot of positive things on your day-to-day, because they really, really affect and impact our body and the biology of it. So going on to number 5 is motivation is what gets you started. Discipline is what keeps you going. A lot of us think that motivation is actually what we need. And so we use it as an excuse to say, I'm not motivated today, I don't feel motivated. And for a lot of successful people in any areas of life, motivation gets you started, it gets you inspired. You feel inspired by something, now you feel motivated to do it, and then you'll go up until, the momentum is down. Now, how do I get back up? How does everyone else get to do it and I can't? My motivation's down, the momentum has fallen. Well, it's actually not the motivation and momentum that is going to keep you going. It's the discipline, it's the mindset, it's the reminders, it's the doing it even though you don't want to do it. And that's something that till this day I have to learn every single day. There's so many people around me that I can look up to on that discipline is what keeps them going, and maybe they really are just always motivated, and there's some people that aren't. Keep in mind and remember that motivation and momentum is eventually going to wear off, and discipline is really what's going to keep you going. For number 6, what doesn't get measured does not get managed. I am personally a math lover. I love numbers, I love data, I love looking and tracking and making sense of what it is I'm working on and the outcome of it, whether it's virtual assistant, whether it is being a co-founder of a community, whether it is finance things. I love to measure it, I love to track it, I love to be able to look at what it is that's happening in my world. And because of this, I'm able to look at it and confront, look at it and manage it, look at it and see what it is that needs to be done to improve, what it is that needs to be acknowledged for, and just in general, make sure in the back of my mind, everything's going well, the numbers are looking good, and we're good to go. Number 7, run the risk. If it works out, happiness. If not, wisdom. This one hits a little extra. It's really scary to take risks. Scary to take risks with money, with creativity, with your energy. And it's something that maybe a lot of us don't want to do. whether it's fear of rejection or fear of failure. But you know what I say? Would you rather live with what if? What if you did this? What if you did that? Why didn't I do it is what you'll eventually think about. And I don't know, I personally don't want to live that way. I want to go for what it is that my mind wants to do, but more importantly, what my heart wants to do. And as long as you know that you have the best intentions overall, that is what matters. And also, when you run that risk, when you take that risk, that is where experience and that is where growth happens. That is where you evolve. And there's a lot of people in this world that don't like to take risks. That's why they've stayed where they are. And that's just the truth. And if you don't want to be where you currently are right now, you have to risk something. You have to sacrifice something. And it's possible. And it's scary. And it hurts. And you're going to feel like, oh gosh, something is heavy on my heart and my stomach. But just know that when you take that risk, there is gold on the other side. Whether that's experience, whether that's growth, or maybe everything works out. Again, if it works out, happiness. And if it does not, wisdom. Number 8 is whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. This one I remember, this is Henry Ford, one of my top quotes ever. Your mindset and your thinking is what's going to get you to where you want to be. So if you really believe that you can't do something, of course you won't do it. You're going to tell your mind, and your mind is going to believe you so much that you can't do that thing. And if you tell your mind that you can, if you tell your mind, I can do it, I'm gonna do it, I've already done it. The power of words, the shift in mindset, the way your body and your mind is going to make it happen because you said so. Try it. If there's something that you feel like, I've always wanted to do this, but I don't really believe that I can do it. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself. Tell yourself, even if you don't believe it, tell yourself, I can do it. I can do it. I'm good. I'm doing it. I can do it. I can do it. It's easy. It's easy. It is not hard. I can accomplish this. I've accomplished so many things like this because whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. Number 8 is every morning we are born again. What we do today matters. This is just such a relieving quote, truly, because I know that there are so many of us that have really bad days. I know that there are so many of us that have really, really tough days that stretch and they feel like infinity. And I want to remind you, I want to reassure you that tomorrow's a new day. Is it worth worrying if you can't change it? And if you can change it, why worry? Tomorrow's a new day, make it happen. And what you do in that day, that new day matters the most. And you can recreate that. Number 10 is gratitude brings forth inner balance. And there is always something to be grateful for. This probably could have been my number 1, and it is. All of these are my number 1. My mom has taught me the greatest gift, and that is gratitude. Whenever I am in a bad or low mood, she'll always be like, Tita, gracias a Dios que tienes esto. Gracias a Dios que eso pasó. Porque mira lo que te ha bendecido Dios. Gracias a Dios que esto lo tienes ahora. ¿Cuántas otras personas no lo tienen? She reminds me things that I want in life, even in things that I am very disappointed in myself. There's always something to be grateful for. And if I failed, I got the experience. Now I know what it is that I need to do and need to not do so that I could be 2 steps up instead of that 1 step. So gratitude definitely brings inner balance. And I'm always grounded whenever I am thankful for something. Practice a little more gratitude. Going for number 11 is the quality of your life depends on the quality of your relationships. And that is from Mr. Tony Robbins himself. And this is equivalent to you are the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. When you're around certain people, their actions, their way of being, their mindset rubs off on you. You know, that influences you a lot. You can't tell me that that doesn't affect the quality of your life, your lifestyle. Something every one of us have to check ourselves on. Maybe there's a new group that we're hanging out with, or maybe there isn't. And maybe we want that. Maybe we want a little more of that quality relationship around us. The quality of your life depends on the quality of your relationships, and surround yourself with good people. Going on to number 12, choice is made in an instant. My boyfriend actually said this in one of my YouTube videos, and I remember when he said that, in my head I'm like, that's so true. we're gonna think and we're gonna think and we're gonna think about what choice we're gonna make. But the actual truth is, the choice, the moment we make that choice, we say, okay, yes, that was made in a second, instantly. If we say, no, that was made instantly. And so choice, we don't take long to make a choice. We don't take long to choose, rather. Making the decision is made in an instant. So imagine holding that power, like I can make a choice in an instant. I am sure of what it is that I want, and I'm sure of what it is that I don't want. Going on for number 13 is meditate on things. Do not do things spontaneously. I claim myself to be very, very creative. And because of my creativity, I'm always coming up with ideas, like a lot of ideas. Most of the time, I do these ideas with myself. And so I never have to ask for anyone's permission. Going back to one of the first lessons that I mentioned is, ask questions, seek for advice. Meditating on things and not doing things so spontaneously is something that, as I'm getting older, I'm realizing definitely a life lesson. Number 14, if you don't heal what hurts you, you'll bleed on people who didn't cut you. I have been cheated on, hurt, I've been lied to, been manipulated, I've been gaslighted many times prior to my current relationship. And because of that, all that trauma, all that baggage, all those stories carried onto my new relationship, on a partner that had never hurt me, that had never done anything. And I was finding things and picking at things that will make my narrative and all of my stories right. And that's what usually happens with people. People will seek for what makes their story true. And that's why it's really, really important you're actually seeking for the truth. Because I didn't heal, because I didn't go through, because I didn't talk about how I actually felt with my past and how I've been hurt, I bled on someone who never hurt me, wasn't the one to hurt me. Heal your trauma, or at least make an attempt to. And even if you're not fully healed, and I don't really believe anyone's always fully healed, because it's something that has shaped us, and now we have to navigate the world a little differently because of our experiences. At least you are not hurting the people that never hurt you. Number 15, connection and love evolves through authenticity and vulnerability. I've always told myself, because I have this big family, because I have all of the people that love me and that I love close to me, I don't need validation and I don't need love and connection from anyone else. And I was always kind and, I got along with people, I was very social, but I almost gave myself the story that I don't need more people in my life and I don't need love. I don't need validation from you. That was this thing that I was telling myself when I was younger. And because of that, I was very reserved and I never opened up to my friends ever. The truth, my feelings, still to this day. I'm working on it. And maybe my authenticity is opening up by being the funny person that I think I am, but at least I'm opening up and acting, myself. But the vulnerability part is something that I still work on and try to work on. I don't know, maybe I already am vulnerable. For some reason, I think that it's something I'm always seeking for. And because of authenticity, because of vulnerability, that is truly what helps us connect with other human beings. A stranger is going to look at you as a stranger until they find out that you both share a really similar experience, and now they find you to be a friend. Going on to number 16 is do not take it personally. As I mentioned earlier, people are going to create a story in their head and they're going to seek for things that make that story make sense. And typically that happens because they're going through something in their life. I'm sure there's been an experience that you might have gone through, maybe not, where someone posts something and then you're like, is that about me? And then you start creating all these stories in your head where you're like, oh my gosh, that person's talking about me, they're subbing me, indirectly talking about me. And because of your current experience, maybe you did something wrong and you saw something that someone posted in your hometown, you're like, oh my gosh, this person knows, like this person is talking about me, they're, sharing it on their social media, how could they? That is a prime example of not taking things personally. If that person that feels that you're talking about them, I offer you to love them, empathize with them, ask them questions. Why do you feel like I'm talking about you? And so again, this is a prime example of how people's reactions and people's words and people's stories have nothing to do with you, really. Don't take it personally. Do not take anyone's actions personally, because a lot of them carry that victim mindset. And a lot of them carry stories in their head. So it's not your fault. So don't take it personally. Number 17, and this is kind of going into what we last spoke about, but this time it's about us. The way you feel about anything, and the way you react is your responsibility, or rather, my responsibility. Own up to your emotions. This is something that I learned in Landmark 2020, as I mentioned earlier, and this was the biggest breakthrough. Whatever I'm feeling, I cannot tell someone, you made me feel sad. You made me feel mad. You made me jealous. Because, let's face it, they cannot make you do anything, especially make you feel an emotion at all. So, it's actually not the truth. We ourselves made ourselves feel that certain way. What they've done has impacted, but we made ourselves feel that emotion. And they could have had an intention to make you jealous, and you could have probably taken it like, well, that's funny. You made yourself laugh about it. Do you know where I'm going with this? Own up to your emotions. Let's take a wine break right now. Going on to number 18. In a good conversation, one person talks while the other one listens. And this is a Charlie Brown quote that I saw, I think it was like an amusement park or something. Can you imagine a world where, and actually, let's not even imagine, it happens on our day-to-day, and this is why so many of us human beings fail in relationships, fail in partnerships, in connection in general, because lack of communication, and I've definitely been, at fault with so many of this. And also I witness it. I witness it around me. Can you imagine two people simultaneously talking? Do you actually think that they're listening to each other when they're focusing on what they're saying to the other person? It's impossible to actually listen to someone. It's impossible to actually listen to the other person, and you think they're gonna understand them? It's impossible to understand the other person. So, in a good conversation, in good communication, one person talks while the other one listens, and then the other person who was listening gets to talk and the other one listens. And no interruption, clear communication, good intentions, and then outcome is understanding and agreements. Number 19 is you are never alone. This is pretty self-explanatory, but it is true. You're not alone. And anything that you're going through right now in this moment, please remember that there is another human being out there who's going through the same thing and who's going through the same emotions. And you know what? There might be people closest to you that may be going through that same thing. And the only way that you'll find out is if you vulnerably share and you vulnerably communicate that. And you don't have to do it if you're not ready for it. Please know that when you're ready, you're gonna find people who are in the same boat as you and are going through the same thing as you. And the powerful, most beautiful feeling is knowing that you're not doing it alone, that you're not going through it alone, and that there are other people out there who are as well. And you both together, all of you together, that force, that strength really allows you to overcome any obstacle. So remember that you are not alone. Number 20, there is more pleasure in loving than in being beloved. One of the greatest things that I love about myself is that I love to love. I love to love people and show how much I miss someone, even if they are upset with me. And I have a lot of family who allow their ego and their pride to get in the way. And I've learned through this journey of life that we only have that one life, and that if I genuinely in my heart want to love, I will let that love out to that person and let them know that even though you're upset with me, I still love you, and I want you to know that. And it's okay if you reject me. Please know that I love you. What's even more empowering is that my love is not dependent for that other person's love. And it's only because I want to exude that. Number 21, life is too short to be at war with yourself. Close your eyes for 1 second. Hold your body tight, your legs, your hips, your stomach, your arms, your shoulders, your chest, your neck, your head, your lips, and if you could, your brain. All of that is yours. You own that. That is all you. No one else owns that. People can hurt you with words, physically, but that body of yours, you have control, whether to empower and love yourself or to crush and hurt yourself. You choose. And I offer you all to not hurt yourself, to not be at war with yourself, because this heart and this body and this mind of ours is ours, and there's only one. And imagine a world where we can empower and love ourselves so fully that because of that, we inspire so many of those to do the same. Number 22, never let your loved ones leave the door without a hug, kiss, or loving acknowledgement. I have never gone through a situation where I learned this the hard way, but I've heard enough stories that I don't want to be in that situation. I don't want to hear a loved one leaving my life permanently and remembering the last interaction was negative. I would not forgive myself. And so because of that, I don't allow my family members or loved ones to leave the door without a hug, without a kiss, without letting them know that I love them. And we can resolve all of that at a later time. Please know that I do love you and I cherish you and I want you in my life forever. And if this is the last moment that I get to see you, at least you know that I do. Number 23 is influence is a superpower. I've been able to study this through the work of Unblinded. My boyfriend is a co-founder of that company and he's taught me a lot, along with the other co-founders. And life is about sales. Imagine a world where you can positively influence people. Imagine a world where you can influence authorities to make great change that will impact our communities for the better. Something that I continue to study, and I want to, because I want to hold that powerful, positive skill so that I can create change and impact in the future. And last but certainly not least, number 24. Personal development is the gateway to a healthier life. My personal development journey started a little over 3 years ago, and I have been on a heck of a journey that has gone up, has felt like it was going down, but in true reality, it's only brought me up. And I am in the highest state of mind that I've ever been in my life, even through so many obstacles, even through so many heartaches and so many rejections and so much failure. I really feel like I'm on top of the world. And because of all of the deep inner traumatic work that I've done, that inner work, that's why I feel the way I feel today. Because I can seek the good and I can seek the bad, but learn from the bad. Use that bad for better, to better myself. This does not happen through one book that I read. This does not happen through an inspirational video that I watched. This happens through a seminar, a 12-hour, 3-day, 4-day seminar with no windows and 125 people in a room. This happens with constant 12-hour video calls where people ask you the hard questions and you have to be honest with yourself. Because you can lie to the world, but you know the truth. And if you are honest with yourself, and if you can be true to yourself, you can open a door of possibilities, a door of opportunities, and a door to a healthier life, truly. And I really, really do believe that in my heart. So with all that being said, those are the 24 life lessons that I've learned up until the age of 24. I will be turning 24 June 15, and I'm just really grateful to God for giving me all these years of a healthy life, to my parents, to my family for contributing to that, to being a great influence in my life and giving me that, to my friends and family, acquaintances, coworkers, strangers, anyone in my life who's impacted me one way or another, and to all of the resources that I've leveraged and is a reason why I know what I know today. And so thank you all so much for watching. I really hope that you've been able to learn a thing or two here. I'm very curious to hear if there are any of my lessons that have resonated with you or that you carry in your heart to this day, or maybe any new ones that you'd like to share with me, as maybe any one of yours could be a lesson that I share when I am 30 or 35. So again, I really, really appreciate that you all watched this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help me, and I'm so looking forward to creating a lot more content, sharing it with you all, and just receiving feedback and ideas and that creative inspiration that I seek on the everyday. So thank you again, and I will see you on a later video.